when I talk in English, I don't have to keep translating the terms in my head.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to develop that ability of switching between Russian and his mental process between Russian and English.
Yeah, it starts with the
Yes.
starts with the thought. Although this is a thing that I noticed that I'm kind of noticing more, especially since I've been reading out loud to the little one, John Baxter Mendoza. Since I've been reading out loud to him, there was a time, where I couldn't read. I didn't have that that knowledge, and I didn't have that skill. And now, at this point, once my eyes like receive the words, that kind of the input, like I can't help, my brain can't help
I know.
but decode everything, like automatically. It's like I couldn't stop it even if I wanted to,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
It's
you can,
it's
but you have to also work on that, on stopping your
like
mind.
when you yeah, like if you look at that like right there, eyes in the sky watching us from space, it's almost like this involuntary thing
It is.
that and
In fact, it
and
just occurred to me a couple of times. Earlier was the most recently when I was in the park waiting for the train. I noticed that I was automatically looking around and reading signs. You
mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah, you just cut, yeah.
I kept looking and
Mm-hmm.
reading signs even if they meant were nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Come
Yeah.
escalate.
Yeah. Yeah, you take one look, and it's like, that's what I mean. It's almost like you have no control over it, like you have no free will
This is the
because it's so automatic.
this is the challenge of being in the moment. Eckhart Tolle talks about being of awareness,
Mm-hmm.
being present.
Meister Eckhart.
Yeah. Because the only reality is the moment.
Mm-hmm.
The, in fact, even as you experience it, it's already gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's already in the past. You're actually fraction of a second behind.
Mm-hmm.
Because the time it takes you to process what you're experiencing
Yeah, that
is a
split
fraction
second.
of a second.
Yep.
And of course, the future is not yet there.
Mm-hmm.
Just moving into that moment. But what he wants to suggest is to be in the moment. You have to suspend judgment. In other words, you don't even name it. That's
Mhm.
so difficult.
Yeah,
Try
that's
that.
that's yeah.
Like a leaf. As soon as
Mhm.
you see it, your mind will say leaf. But
Mhm.
he said like a flower or a star, you look at it. Don't name it. Yeah, so you can experience it in the essence of it, not some image you have in your mind of a flower.
Mhm.
The flower should be then
Yeah,
you're categorizing
Yep.
this thing into that image.
the world of forms. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I think Plato or Aristotle
True challenge.
or Socrates maybe had that. Yeah, the world of forms. That's kind of what he was talking about. And yeah, I mean, you need, I guess you don't really need anything, but being able to differentiate differentiate and categorize objects has its usefulness,
Oh,
because
certainly.
we're able to do a lot
Certainly,
with that.
but there's also a point where if you want to go above that, you want to transcend that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
the whole point.
yeah. That I mean that
Well,
would.
you can be very good at that, but that's basically Aristotle's
Mhm.
world.
And what you were, yeah, where you were talking about from Meister Eckhart was, that's also very, really similar to the one of the basic tenets of Buddhism, which is like there is no good thing or bad thing. There are just things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the challenge. You know,
And
to achieve
expectation, how it matches up to your expectation can
That's right.
determine
And you're
whether
very
you're like you
judgmental,
judge
but-
it bad or good.
Yeah, you want
But it's
to
really
suspend that.
expectation.
And also, beyond that, I mean, in addition to that, it's the ego is doing that, trying to control, your own little world, whatever surrounding it. It's just the ego likes to do that, to show, to exercise whatever power he can over some what the experience is external.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And this.
Really, the goal is to go also to transcend the ego.
Mhm.
Right? The ego is a tool. That's not who you are.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, that's kind of the point I was trying to make
It's very difficult. The way I see it. It's these people like who go into a very deep meditation. Or
Mhm. Well, it's yeah.
like Tito.
Mhm.
Tito Mapa. He does meditation now 4 hours a day.
Mhm. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Imagine.
It's intense.
And he went to attended training for this.
Mhm.
Not he still continues.
Well, that just
develop
goes to show you the difficulty right there, where people have to go on these like meditation retreats,
Yeah.
where you have to isolate
He did-
yourself, and then you
he
like
did 10
change your
days.
diet, and like no one talks to anyone.
The
You know,
last
you're
one
just
he
by
went
yourself,
to
and
was in Cambodia. He went
Mhm.
to Cambodia. He did 10 days of silent meditation,
Mhm.
which is all they did. He said was, you cannot talk.
Mhm.
You're with a bunch of people, nobody.
No talking.
No talking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess sign language, but you really, the goal is you have to go inside yourself.
Mhm.
Anyway, so
I've heard of some of those,
imagine-
and then like the last week is like, or the last day maybe is you're just by yourself. But yeah, like you have to go through extreme lengths almost to even begin to touch that place of being in the moment and silencing your mind.
Plus that
But then
daily
how do you yeah, it's all practice, but then the challenge is bringing that into the city
Well,
life.
eventually.
Like that's you have to excise yourself so much to like even get a glimpse of it, which makes it even more difficult for regular schmucks to try to get there
No,
in
but
their
it's
everyday
not-
living.
It's not something that you will just jump into.
Yeah, it's
it
a
takes
whole-
like a daily practice.
Yeah, and that's really
And
it.
you actually may never reach that goal, but you can keep moving
Mm-hmm.
closer and closer to it.
Well, this is the point I was trying to make at the supermarket, where talking about externality and looking, like the ego trying to control, these external conditions, and also expectation. Kind of all of these are external things, because it's like, because expectations are thoughts, and if you can observe whatever you can observe, that is not you, because you are the observer.
Mhm.
So thoughts are still
Yes.
external things, and expectation. One expectation is that I need to be happy doing what I do, for a living. I need to be happy in my career. That belief, I think, is like this is what I was trying to say, is that can end up being a limiting belief, because it's instead of taking responsibility and just saying like I'm in control, I can find happiness and contentedness wherever I am. You know, that's placing the responsibility more on yourself. You're kind of going like, well, I'm not happy here, so I'm gonna go here, and like, oh, I'm not happy here, I'm gonna go here, and
That's
it's
a
like,
good point.
yeah,
Where the source of happiness, you're externalizing it
yeah, that,
when actually the it's within you.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
When you make that realization, yes, I think that's very valid.
yeah.
That you get
I
make that realization that
took, yeah,
actually it's the ego that where all this discontent comes from.
mm-hmm, yeah, the
Once you can,
expectation,
yeah, once you can quiet the ego, or at least maintain awareness that these whatever feelings and mostly feelings of suffering or discontent
mm-hmm,
are coming from an artificial or artificially generated by the ego, then you can make better. I mean, you can move closer to finding the real source. It's internal.
yeah, yeah. It took a while. It took a while because you know, it's just like if you like for again, I'll personalize it. Like for me, it got to this point where I'm just no matter what my environment was, and I kept changing things, changing jobs, you know, moving from here to there, trying different things. It's like no matter what form my environment took, I was not happy. And so it just kind of got to this point where I was like, well, if this isn't going to make you happy, like when are you going to be happy? You know, it's always going to be like always over the next hill. You know, you're always, oh, it's going to be over there, it's going to be over there. And it's like, you know, if you stop and look around, there's actually a lot to be thankful for, and it just comes
Right.
that comes more from
I think that's
context.
That's a great insight. The gratitude part.
yeah,
That really moves you. You know, allows you to move forward.
hmm yeah, and that
It prevents you from getting stuck in certain part.
yeah, and that comes, I mean, that comes from context, not, you know, more like the historical context, not only of like my, you know, myself and where I came from and where my family came from, because I can, you know, I can go once land in the Philippines, I can immediately look around, start, you know, defining differences between the Philippines and the U.S. And then when I get back to the U.S., you know, I can be thankful, you know, for things that I wasn't aware of. I wouldn't have been aware of if I hadn't seen it firsthand.
Yeah, that's true. You get to appreciate more. That's true.
Yeah. But it's all you know, you kind of have to go get it yourself instead of, you know, like, I mean, there was a time when I was just, I mean, complaining about everything, as you know, as if I had the answers to, you know, I had the answers to all of life's problems, and
That's normal, especially for young
you know, if
people.
only people would listen to me. Yeah, that's what I'm
I
expecting from
think
this
a
guy.
lot of young people go through that.
Yeah.
Not all. There's some who figure it out real early, or life just puts them in a situation where they have no time to. Like my dad, for instance. I don't know if he ever had to go through that, because his dad died when he was young.
How young?
Oh, he was still in school.
Like
I
grade
think he
school?
Yeah, probably high school.
Mm-hmm.
No, not grade school, definitely not. Because when he finished grade school, they were still living in Atimonan,
Mm-hmm.
which is halfway to Labo. So he grew up in Coconut Land. But
Interesting. Lolo's family was from Labo.
no, Lola.
Lola's family
Yeah.
was from Labo.
But Lolo grew up in Quezon, which is the next province,
Mm-hmm.
during grade school. A beautiful town, actually. Mountain and then ocean. But anyway, high school or college. Probably high school. He went to live with his granduncle, the brother of his mom.
This is because his dad
I
passed
think
away.
his dad passed away by
Mhm.
that time. And here's the oldest. So he had like how many were they? 4 or 5. He had to put his youngest brother through school. I think he put his sister through school also, but I'm not sure.
And this is
Him and his second brother, they had to work right
work doing what? Work in the medical field or just
No, 'cause
whatever
he
they
went
could.
to school in the 1930s,
Mm-hmm.
to medical school. I don't know what they were doing. Maybe just odd jobs.
But he had to
Yeah.
put his younger
He was-
siblings through school,
Yeah.
like private school.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know about if there's
Yeah.
public school.
Yeah, this is what I recall.
Mhm.
And then in 1939, he went to Baguio and met my mom. He was just a graduate doctor that was an intern. Newly graduate doctor. Interns are doctors who are like on the bottom of the scale.
Mhm.
You know, the new guy. They're the
Yeah, the
trainee,
lowest low,
the train,
yeah, low man on the totem
Yeah,
pole,
they
bottom
do
of the
dirty work.
bottom of the medical food chain,
Yeah.
the medical academic food
They,
chain.
actually employed by the hospital. So they're called interns. They actually live
Yeah, sleep in
there.
and take turns.